everyone. So in this video, we are going to start the LWC concepts. Okay. So I hope you're watching this video after the basics, right? So we have the basics to be done before watching this video. So you should have set up your org before. So we have actually the have a folder for setting up your org also. So please do watch that, and then you can come back here to watch this video, because only then you'll be understand all the other concepts. Okay. So in this video, we are going to start the LWC concepts from now onwards. So to start with LWC concepts, we have to know what is naming conventions. Okay. So you may think why we have to learn the naming convention before LWC, but it's very important in the programming world. Okay. So naming conventions are as important as you know how to code also. Okay. So because the naming conventions, what we are going to follow here, okay, is actually a universally accepted terms. Okay, so because if you imagine how the real world projects will be there, right? So multiple programmers or developers will be working on a particular project, right? So you may work in one module now. Okay, and your colleague might be working in another module, right? So one point of time, this modules can be reused, right? I hope you all know that the components are useful for reusability also, right? So when you want to reuse the components, after you complete a particular module, if your module is being reused by another developer, you should understand the code what you have written, right? It should be a readable one. Okay. And so LWC has imposed universally accepted naming conventions to be followed, so that all the developers can like understand the naming conventions while they are actually writing the program inside the LWC. Okay, so let us see the naming conventions. As I told you, why naming conventions, right? So why we are following the naming conventions? And in LWC, the LWC has provided us with a few naming conventions. Okay, for the components. Okay, so we are going to create few components. The component names will be following some naming conventions, and the properties and methods what you are going to declare inside the class. Okay, so those are also going to follow some naming conventions. And the events. Okay, so some events will be triggered that we will be learning in the future videos. So the events also should have to follow the naming conventions. Okay, so these are the things we are going to apply the naming conventions for these concepts. Okay, so when you follow these naming conventions, your code will be actually more readable. As I told you before, it will be more readable, and as it is actually universally accepted by all the developers, they will be able to understand. If they see a particular code, they know, okay, this is the component name, this is the property name. Okay, they'll be easily able to locate it. Okay, so that is why it is very important to follow the naming conventions. Okay, and we are going to see the three types of naming conventions followed in LWC. Okay, so let us see what are those. Okay, first one is camel case. Okay, so you can see here I have written the camel case as it is. Okay, so it should be written how I have written here. Okay, so the camel case, if you see the camel case, the first letter of your word should be a small letter, and the following word, so the next word starting character will be actually a capital letter. Okay, so what I have written here is the um, rule to be followed. Okay, so camel case I have written as how it has to be followed to be written. Okay, so this is the camel case. So camel case, it is used in few places in LWC. So let us first see what are the three types of naming conventions, and then we will see in which places the camel cases will be applied in LWC. Okay, so the next one is Pascal case. Okay, so if you see Pascal case, I have written the Pascal case word itself in the way it should be written. Okay, so the first character, the word's first letter should be a capital letter, and the following next word, okay, the next word's first letter should also be a capital letter. If you're having another word, then you have to start that also with the capital letters. Okay, so this is called as Pascal case. So here each and every word is actually capitalized. Okay, so this particular type of naming conventions will be following in few logics inside the LWC. Okay, and the third one is kebab case. Okay, as the name suggests, it looks like a kebab, right? So actually what will be doing here is we can actually connect multiple words using a hyphen. Okay, and the important takeaway point here is all the letters in the particular kebab case should be a small letter. Okay, so that is very, very important. We will not use any capital letters anywhere, so it should be all small letters. And the words, okay, so if first word and the second word should be um, joint using a hyphen. So if you have another word following, then you have to use another hyphen. Okay. Likewise, you have to connect the words with the hyphens. Okay. So all the words should be lowercase. So in LWC, we'll be using kebab case naming conventions in few places. Okay. I'll be telling where in which places we'll be using all these things. Okay. So these are the three types of naming conventions we'll be following in LWC. Okay. I hope it is clear, right? So I have written the names in the way it should be written. Okay. You can see the names also. Now let us see a tabular form, okay, where these appropriate naming conventions will be applicable. Okay. So if you see in the tabular form, camel case, I told you, right? Camel case will be applied in the component names, property names, and method names. Okay. So to see this, let us jump to the VS Code and see what are these. Okay. So let us go to the VS Code. So I hope you're watching this video after watching the preliminary setup, right? So if you have set up your org before, okay, you should have created a create project with manifest. Okay, so only when you create a project with manifest, you'll be able to see the in command palette, you'll be able to see create lightning web component. If you're not seeing this immediately, even after you have created a project with manifest, type sfdx and then colon and try to type create. Okay, because in recently viewed, if you don't see this, because I have used it recently, I'm able to see this. If you haven't started before, then you have to type by yourself and locate it. Okay, so when I'm trying to create a lightning web component, you can see here, I'm going to give some word here. Okay, a file name. Okay, so what is the file name I'm going to give here is, say for example, demo name. Okay, you can see here, I'm actually, okay, let us type like this. Okay, demo name. Okay, so I'm giving the first letter as capital letter and the following another word also capital letter, right? So demo name is my component name now. Okay, so let us see what happens when I'm creating a name like this. Okay, this is my component name. Let us give enter. So once you give enter, it asks in which directory you want to save this particular component. So I'm going to give the current directory. Okay, so if you want to give the current directory, then you can just click enter. Okay, so once you click enter, you can see the file. Okay, so three files will be created. So automatically, whenever we create a new component in LWC, we will be seeing three files. Okay, let us see here. The demo name I have created. If you remember clearly, I have given the first letter as capital letter D, right? I gave a first letter as capital letter D, but automatically LWC is what it is doing at the back end is it is converting to a camel case. Okay, so from this we can understand that the component name should always be a camel case. Okay, you can see here, though I have given the file name as D capital letter demo name, it automatically converts the first letter D to a small letter d. Okay, so the takeaway point is the component names will be in the camel case. Okay, so what else is in camel case if you see here? So the things what you're going to write inside this class. So this is a class, right? So we'll be writing properties and methods inside this. Okay, so we will be learning what are those in the future videos, but as of now you understand a class can have properties and methods, right? So the properties and methods will also follow the camel case. Okay, so for example, if I'm just writing the first name, okay, first name, see I'm writing as a camel case. Okay, you can see here I'm writing as a camel case. First letter should be a small letter. So if you have another word, then it should start with a capital letter. Okay, and if you're having methods, I told you that the classes can also have methods. Methods are nothing but functions, right? So if you have methods, say for example, I'm having handle click, so which is a method. Okay, so we will be doing all the hands-on in the future videos. Okay, we will be learning in detail about all these things. As of now, you are learning only the naming conventions. See here, even I'm writing the methods in the camel case. So the first letter will be a small letter and the next word starting letter will be a capital letter. So this is how we will be writing the properties and methods with the camel case. Okay, so the takeaway point here is the component names, property names, method names will be in the camel case. Okay, so next one is Pascal case. We have learned what is Pascal case also, right? See, all the words will be capitalized, right? So if you see here, we have created a demo name component, right? If you notice carefully here, you can see here, okay, I'll just annotate on the screen. Fine. Yes, you can see here the demo name component name, okay? The class name has become to a Pascal case. Okay, so you can see here the component name I gave is actually in the capital letter, but it changed to a camel case. But the class name is actually in the Pascal case. Okay, so the class names will always be in the Pascal case. Okay, that is the one thing we have to understand here. Okay, so that is the main important thing of Pascal case. And the next one is kebab case. Okay, so kebab case is actually useful in the advanced concepts. Okay, we will be learning many advanced concepts in LWC. So the kebab case, as I told you, everything will be in small letters and each word will be connected by a hyphen, right? So let us see how to do that. Okay, in which scenarios we'll be using this is, say for example, I'm having a two components. Okay, so this is your beginning, right? But let me tell you very simply what is that. So this is one component, right? This is one component. If I want to embed or refer another component inside this component, it is also possible in LWC. Okay, so if for example this is my parent component. Okay, this is my parent component. Okay, so as of now, you understand what is that, but in detail, we'll be learning. So this is my parent component. If I want to refer a child component inside the parent component, I'll be using the kebab case. Okay, kebab case. So how to refer the another component is, let us delete it, kebab case. Okay. So how to refer another component is, say for example, I'm having a component as a child component. Okay, imagine that there is a child component that I will be referring here as C hyphen child hyphen component. Okay, this is my component name. Okay, so I have to refer like this. Okay, this is a pretty advanced concept, but as of now you have to understand, when I'm actually teaching you the parent child concept in the future, I will be referring this particular component naming convention. Okay, so the naming conventions for referring the other components inside the parent component, we have to go with the kebab case. Okay, so one more thing is, sometimes we will be passing some data to the child component. Okay, this is all advanced one, but I want you to take this important concept that what is kebab case alone. Okay, so we will be passing some data to the child component. So for example, if I want to pass this first name to the child component, how will I pass this is, I'll be copying this and I'll be using it as an attribute in my tag. Okay, so I'll be pasting here, but here I have to use a kebab case. Okay, if you see here, if I left like this, it is throwing me an error here, right? It's throwing me an error here. Okay, saying here, it cannot be, all attributes name should be in all lower cases, right? So I should not give something like this in the attribute. So I should actually change it to a kebab case. Okay, so this is how I will be passing the values to my child component. This is all advanced. Don't worry about it. We are going to learn everything in detail in the future videos. The only takeaway point from this particular concept is the kebab case cannot be in a capital letter. It is going to be connected by hyphens. And it is used for referring the child components inside the parent component. That is the only thing you're going to take away from this particular kebab case. Okay, so we have seen three naming conventions. Each one is actually used in different parts of the LWC. Okay, so wherever it is necessary, we'll be going with the naming conventions. So I request you all to follow the naming conventions because you are all budding developers in LWC, right? So when you start developing the components, it is always best practice to follow the naming conventions, okay, wherever possible. Okay, so that is the concept of naming conventions. So we will meet in the next video. Okay, thank you.
If you are interested to learn Salesforce, visit AJ Skill Development website. There you can find our course curriculum and you can come to know about the list of courses we are offering. We are offering Salesforce Administrator and Salesforce Development courses. To know about us and the team, you can visit our About Us section. This is an organization we are doing Salesforce training from 2018 and we have trained and guided 2000 plus candidates so far. And if you also want to know about our placement assistance, visit our placement assistance section where you can find the list of people and the category. You can see the list of people who got trained and placed from our side. You can also visit their LinkedIn pages to get to know about our training and also the feedback from the relevant trainees. Okay. And also, if you want to do the course inquiry, click on contact us. You will see the form. You can fill the form and submit the inquiry. Our team will get back to us. Thank you.